In the quiet town of Cheshire, Connecticut, an idyllic family. The Petits, composed of Dr. William Petit, his cherished wife Jennifer Hawke-Petit, and their two beloved daughters, Hayley and Michaela, became the unfortunate victims of an unfathomable horror in 2007.
So there were 4 people home, and we had...
Again, facts like that I can't comment. Okay. All I can tell you right now is that we do have 3 confirmed fatalities. 2 female, we're still checking.
This event shook the tranquility of their abode, unleashing an inexplicable nightmare. Please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories like these. The aftermath brought about nationwide debates on home invasion crimes, capital punishment, and the urgent need for criminal justice reforms. Amidst the sorrow, Dr. Petit's resilience emerged as a beacon of strength. He transformed his grief into advocacy, establishing a foundation in memory of his lost family, offering solace to others affected by similar tragedies. The Cheshire murders left an indelible mark, transcending as a somber reminder of home security's fragility and the ongoing pursuit of justice and healing. The Petits lived in a modest home while the ones responsible for the Cheshire murders had troubled backgrounds. Joshua Komisarjevsky, a young burglar, had a tough upbringing despite coming from wealth. He faced challenges from a young age, dealing with defiance issues and suffering abuse among adopted siblings. Similarly, Steven Hayes had a rough childhood marked by abuse, leading him to theft to fuel a drug habit. Fate brought Hayes and Komisarjevsky together in 2006 at a halfway house, forging an unexpected bond between them. Despite their different paths, their shared experiences of hardship connected them, setting the stage for the tragic events that would later unfold in Cheshire. As the sun set on that fateful Sunday, July 22, 2007, Hawke-Petit, 48-year-old, and her daughter Michaela embarked on an ordinary grocery run to the local Stop and Shop in Cheshire, Connecticut. They gathered ingredients for a family dinner planned by Michaela. Unknown to them, Komisarjevsky observed them and trailed them back home. Prosecutors contended that his motives were driven by a desire for money and a disturbing interest in Michaela, later leading to her sexual assault. Following their return, Hayes sent a chilling text to Komisarjevsky, expressing his impatience and readiness to commence their sinister plan. "I'm chomping at the bit to get started. Need a margarita soon," Hayes texted. Confirming their dark intentions, Hayes questioned, "Are we still on?" Komisarjevsky affirmed, yes. Hayes eagerly asked, "Soon?" prompting Komisarjevsky to reply, "I'm putting the kid to bed, hold your horses." In response, Hayes chillingly remarked, "Dude, the horses want to get loose." In the dead of night on July 23, 2007, the tranquil Petit household was thrust into unimaginable horror as 2 men entrenched in a history of crime, addiction, and incarceration targeted the unsuspecting family. Joshua Komisarjevsky and Steven Hayes, driven by the pursuit of money and claiming no initial intent to cause harm, forcibly entered the Petit's residence through its rear entrance around 3 a.m. Upon entry, they encountered Dr. William Petit, who had drifted off while reading in the sunroom. Komisarjevsky seized a nearby baseball bat, mercilessly assaulting Petit before binding him in the basement. Proceeding upstairs, they discovered Hayley in her room and found Michaela and her mother, Jennifer, the latter having drifted into sleep while immersed in a Harry Potter book. With callous disregard, Komisarjevsky and Hayes covered Jennifer, Michaela, and Hayley's heads with pillowcases, securing them to their beds before scouring the house in search of valuables, leaving a trail of fear and despair in their wake. Discovering fewer valuables than anticipated, Komisarjevsky and Hayes stumbled upon a check register, disclosing over $40,000, altering their plans. Surveillance footage captured Hayes purchasing $10 worth of gasoline, using containers taken from the Petit residence at a nearby gas station. Upon their return, Hayes escorted Hawke-Petit to the bank, coercing her to withdraw $15,000 from her line of credit under the threat of harm to her family. A chilling scene unfolded as Hawke-Petit, trembling under duress, disclosed the harrowing situation to a bank teller, revealing her family's captivity and the dire threats to their lives. The bank's surveillance system documented the tense transaction. Reacting swiftly, the bank manager alerted 911, relaying the unfolding crisis in real time.
Lady who is in our bank right now, who says that her husband and children are being held at their house. The people are in a car outside the bank. She is getting $15,000 to bring out to them that if the police are told, they will kill the children and the husband. They have their faces covered. She is petrified. They told us they wouldn't hurt anybody.
As Hawke-Petit concluded her interaction with the teller, she departed the bank, conveying a mistaken sense that the invaders were being nice and that their sole motive revolved around money, a belief that contrasted starkly with the sinister reality encircling her family's fate. As the Cheshire Police Department got a report from the bank alerting them of the situation and setting up a perimeter without causing alarm in the neighborhood. During this period, Hayes and Komisarjevsky intensified the severity of their crimes. Komisarjevsky sexually assaulted Michaela, 11-year-old, which he later acknowledged when interrogated. Evidence that Komisarjevsky sexually abused Michaela came from her autopsy, during which state medical examiner Dr. Wayne Carver found his DNA in her body. Komisarjevsky photographed the assault on his cell phone. In his interrogation, he asserted that he thought Michaela was either 14 or 16 years old. Forensic analysis revealed the presence of bleach on Michaela's clothes, showing that Komisarjevsky may have tried to get rid of the DNA evidence from the assault. According to Hayes' confession, Komisarjevsky inspired Hayes into sexually assaulting Hawke-Petit. William was able to hear his wife's assault upstairs. Shouting from below, he heard one of the intruders reassuringly say, "Relax. This will all be done in just a few minutes." William seized an opportunity to break free. Reflecting on the tense moment, he recalled thinking, "This is the moment to act. There's no other choice," as he made his daring escape. Hayes disclosed that while engaging in the sexual assault on the living room floor, Komisarjevsky entered and notified him that William had successfully escaped. Hayes then strangled Hawke-Petit. Hayes and Komisarjevsky doused her lifeless body and parts of the house, including the daughters' bedrooms and daughters themselves, with gasoline. Investigators would later find the accelerant on the Petit sisters' beds and on the clothing they were wearing. Hayes and Komisarjevsky started a fire and fled the scene. Hayley and Michaela both died of smoke inhalation. Hayley broke free from her restraints, fleeing her room and collapsing in the hallway, where she tragically passed away. Her body was discovered at the staircase's summit. The 3rd and 4th degree burns on her feet suggested she had come dangerously close to the fire at the time of her death. The medical examiner conducting Hayley's autopsy couldn't ascertain whether the burns happened prior to or after her passing. Meanwhile, Michaela was discovered in her room, lying on her bed with her hands restrained to it, her lower body hanging off. Similar to her older sister, it's possible Michaela sustained burns while she was still alive. As William was able to free himself of his restraints, exit the house, and crawl to a neighbor's yard for help. The neighbor initially did not recognize him due to the severity of his injuries. Meanwhile, Hayes and Komisarjevsky fled the scene in the Petit family car. They were immediately spotted by police surveillance, pursued, and arrested 1 block away after crashing into a police car. The home invasion had lasted 7 hours. Both Hayes and Komisarjevsky admitted to the murders. Detectives noted that Hayes emitted a strong gasoline odor during his interrogation. Each perpetrator asserted that the other was the primary instigator and orchestrator of the home invasion. Joshua Komisarjevsky and Steven Hayes are currently serving life sentences in prison. Initially sentenced to death, their punishment changed when Connecticut abolished capital punishment in 2012. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Until next time, stay cautious and remain vigilant.